to a few other pages as well. So just making sure that we're popping up where we need to pop up. And we are. All right. So I'm just going to unmute my camera there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. Just going to pin myself to spotlight for everyone. All right. Welcome. So today, day 2 of this series. In fact, I'll take the glasses off because I don't really need them. We're going to be talking about creating a compelling offer. It's probably one of the biggest keys that a lot of people tend to struggle with, although you might find that difficult to believe. But at the end of the day, we want to be visible. We want to be able to maximize our opportunity to engage with clients in the marketplace. And we've got to also build a sense of creativity in our offering. Most people don't offer enough in the marketplace. They, I ask people, what's the current offer that you're making right now, and who is that offer in front of? If I was asking a whole bunch of people who are here joining me live on the Zoom call, that particular question, saying, hey, right now, depending on where you're at in the world, what is the actual offer you actually have in front of your prospective customers? How many prospective customers have the offer that you have in front of them right now that they can review or respond to or engage with, right? And oftentimes when I ask this question, I'm only asking this rhetorically, oftentimes when I ask this question, I'll go, no one, right? Well, if you haven't got a direct offer in front of somebody, or if you're not actually running some sort of campaign to engage your market and engage your customers, it's going to be very difficult for you actually to be in business. Now, I know that sounds very trite and very sarcastic, but that's just this is where the buck stops, right? What's your offer and who's your offer in front of? And what's the response? What's the feedback that you're getting for the offer? Because what you need to find is you need to find an offer that converts, right? You need to find an offer that converts. Now, your first bang out of the gate offer, 9 times out of 10 isn't going to convert. It isn't necessarily going to work. It may or may not work, but in most cases it probably won't, which means you need to refine that message, refine that offer. So today what I'm going to do is going to take you through concepts, tactics, and strategies that I use to create offers. I'm going to walk you through, and then once we've gone through that, I'm going to be throwing over to you to answer questions in relation to you perhaps crafting an offer. Now, I know people in the Facebook group, if you are in the Facebook group, if you're watching this live on a live stream, you can make comments and ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer those questions for you as we're going live here. But the first part of this process is to just give you some real clarity about the types of offering that you want to send out to the market. Number 2, what you can do to kind of speed up the process of engagement, right? And more importantly, get into the zone of where your buyer's mind is, right? To get in the zone. The biggest problem that I see in our world is most people do not take the time to really understand our customers. I'm going to walk you through 2 examples of 2 different niches and why I know that these offers do convert, because I've tested these offers and they actually do convert in these particular niches. And the offers came about from conversations. So the more conversations I had with the market, the more I understood what was going on, the more I paid attention to the behavior of the customer or the prospect in the market, the easier it was for me to come up with an offer to engage that market. So there's a strategy, there's a concept that I will share with you through this process that you can use very easily to create your own offers. And also I'm going to give you a whole series of offers that you can take from this section. But what I'd like to think, what I'd like you to think upon in terms of creating offers is that you want to think about who's receiving them, right? Whatever offer you're making, think about the person who's receiving them, and think about it when they're reading or seeing your offer. How do you think that they would respond? Think about the situations. So this is why getting to know your market and getting to know your customers better is, this is why it's much easier to create compelling offers, right? Where you can actually generate a much better outcome. Now, there's a process. So I like the concept of the buyer's journey. So it's not about, so you need to think about what are the reasons why people hire you for the service you provide, right? That's one question you want to answer. Why would anybody want to hire me, right? So you want to sit down and think about what the impact of what you do is for a client. What problems do you solve? Think about this service you provide, and you want to go to the market with one offer, right? One core offer in the market. You don't want to put 5 or 6 different offers out there. You want to be good at one thing, and you want to be able to nail this thing, and you want to be able to communicate that message in a way that the customer engages, wants to go, hey, I need that thing that this person's looking for, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of frameworks and structures and constructs that you can use as you're taking notes here and as you're watching the live stream in the Facebook group that you can apply to your business, you apply these concepts to your business. So just so I know that to my audience here and those who are watching, if you can give me a thumbs up, if you can hear me very clearly, if I'm coming through loud and clear, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Sometimes when we're talking to the ether of the world, we don't know if the world is receiving our message, but looks like technology is with us today. We're streaming like we weren't able to yesterday, but today we are streaming, and here we are on the live itself. So I want to go through some key concepts that you can use to devise offers, right? Things to take into consideration. But my biggest question is, what is the buyer's journey? What is your buyer's journey in how they buy your services, right? What would, in their mind, what would instigate for them to make a decision to go, you know what, we need to talk to somebody about Facebook ads, or we need to talk to somebody about Google ads, or we need to talk about somebody about our website. Think about some of the things that, you know, or maybe it's like, hey, you know, we're really kind of screwing up on the whole, you know, converting of leads. We've kind of got to go automation together. We're thinking about, we need to look at a CRM, right? We need to look at some sort of automation that will help us. So what are the questions and what are the circumstances where people make a decision to hire you, right? So you need to think about that. So for example, the reason why people will hire a Facebook ad agency is because currently their capability or their results are skewed. They're not getting great results. So one of the reasons why people start looking around for a Facebook ad agency is their current results aren't yielding the returns. They're either burning through a lot of money, they're not qualifying the leads, or perhaps their ad campaign isn't even showing. They're not bidding high enough to get their ad shown, or the offer that they've created doesn't convert, right? They've got a non-converting offer. So so if I've got these reasons and I know it's costing me money, and I know Facebook is a place where from a business to consumer market, that's where the market is, I can actually target my audience, my consumers, my B2Cs in that market. The benefit of Facebook is leverage. It's also the fact that you can retarget. It's also the fact that you can reach out to an audience. It's also the fact that you can use Facebook's algorithms to improve your ad campaigns, right? But if you don't have the skills and something's wrong and something's broken, that is one reason why somebody is looking for a Facebook ad agency, right? Number 2 reason why people look for a Facebook ad agency is they want to run some Facebook ads and they don't have those skills internally, and they're looking for a professional or an agency who's a professional, right, that actually gets results, that actually run campaigns. So they're a business, they might be an e-com business, they might be a product-based business that are going B2C, there might be a service-based provider going B2C. So think about all the businesses that go business to consumer. Facebook is a very powerful mix for that audience, right? Because remember, Facebook is one of the largest social platforms on the planet, will be for many years to come. Instagram is another one, right? LinkedIn is another one, but we're talking about Facebook ads. So what is the buyer's journey? What do they do when they're trying to figure out Facebook ads? So think about it. I'm not going to ask you for the answers to this question. I want you to think about how they make that decision. What are they going to do? They're going to do some homework. They're going to look for the top, you know, they might think of the keywords they might look for, right? Top 100 or top 10 Facebook ad agencies in the city, right? Best Facebook company in your location or locality, right? Or Facebook ad agency, right? They might look for that keyword, right? Or Facebook specialist. What are they searching for, right, when they're looking for you? So they might be doing a little bit of homework, right? They might be doing a little bit of homework on strategy. So they might ask for things like, what's the best Facebook ad campaign for a plumber, right? They might think, Facebook for what service? Facebook ad for a keyword, right? So they might do some searches around, what does a good Facebook ad look like for our services? Might they look in the local market? Might they look in the state market? Might they look nationally, right? Are they going to look for a Facebook ad expert, right? So what are they searching for? They're going to do some homework. And on that homework, what are they trying to understand? Are they trying to understand how to get a good result, how to get good quality leads, how to run offers that actually convert, right? What other things are they searching for? What is the buyer's journey? So then what they're going to do, once they've found a few people, they've found a few companies online or people to go to, or they might go to Upwork and try and find a contractor, right? Or they might even go to Fiverr. And if they know Fiverr, they'll find a person in the Fiverr community, right? So they've found the person. They're not going to just go to one person. They're probably going to go to 2 or 3 people and say, hey, how can you help us with Facebook ads, right? And so how the person responds is going to determine the factor of whether or not they're going to convert that sale. How the person's ability to respond, to ask the right questions, to guide the person through our process, to identify what the client is actually looking to do, the impact of that, what that looks like, how that works, understanding the customer or their customer's customer, right? Okay. All of those things are going to predicate as to how this person's going to make a decision. So they're going to make a decision on a couple of things. Do I like these people know what they're talking about, right? So your ability to communicate your expertise, right? Number 2, your ability to communicate your results, your capability to deliver an outcome for the person who's looking. They want to see case studies. They want to see numbers. They want to see results. They want proof that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, right? So it's another thing that people are going to look for, right? Evidence, reviews, those sorts of things, right? And the other thing is professionalism in the fact that you have a process, a plan, and a structure, right? A system that you use to get a result, right? These are all the things that the prospect needs to know or may ask, right, as part of that process of learning who to go with. Then maybe the consideration might be budget. Right? They might be thinking, hey, we've got to spend some money here. How much do we have to spend? Most people don't know how much they have to spend, right? So part of that process and maybe part of the journey is that education process. How much do ads cost? People are going to search for that, right? How much does it cost to run an ad campaign for a plumber in Atlanta or in New York or in LA or in Valdosta, Georgia, right? How much does it cost, right? Those figures and those ideas are all going to be Googleized. You can actually pick these up. So now I know that the buyer's journey, my question is, how do I solve some of those questions or some of those problems that they have, right, so that they find me, right? Or how do I actually, as a person who's offering the service, rather than them waiting for them to come to me, how do I go to them direct and say, hey, here are the common problems that people have with Facebook ads, right? Or, hey, here's why lead generation doesn't work, right? Or, hey, here's why most marketing campaigns fail, right? Or, hey, here's why salespeople suck at converting sales. They're terrible at follow-up, right? What is the problem? The more we can find and identify the problem, and if we can start to understand the cost of that problem, then we have a greater impact on the ability to deliver or craft an offer that resonates or is relevant to the market. Today, I want you to craft an offer to go to the market today. You're going to send this out to people. Yesterday, I gave a strategy. If you haven't seen the video, go to the Facebook group. I put the video in the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group. You'll see that I crafted 2 tactical things at the end of that presentation where I asked you, I literally walked you through how to use the familiar list to generate a client. And then I walked you through how to actually engage or re-engage people you've had a conversation with in the past, right, that you haven't had a conversation with before, right? So how do you actually go and engage people, engaging people you've actually presented to in the past but didn't buy, right? So so that was the 2 exercise for yesterday because it's the fastest way to create and open the door to generating opportunity. And this second part here essentially is how do we create a compelling offer, right? And so, like I said before, if you don't have an offer out right now out in the marketplace, nobody can buy your offer, right? We have people that I work in Consulting Champions and in Clients Unleashed in our program that have offers out there every single day. They've got offers out there every single day, and they're the ones that are getting clients every week, right? Some of them are getting 5 to 8 clients a month because they've got an offer out every single day to the market, right? And they don't have to have thousands of offers. In some cases, they've only got 10 or 15 offers out there, but they've got 10 or 15 people they can engage with every single day. Something that I've been developing and evolving is, imagine being able to connect and communicate with 50 prospects every day and start 15 to 20 conversations every day. That'd be pretty cool in any niche that you like. That's something that I'm actually teaching our clients on Unleash People coming up in this new year. We're literally going to plug in an automated 50 people a day into a system, into a funnel process where you're communicating with about 15 to 20 people actively engaging in conversation. And from that, the idea is to get 1 to 3 appointments per day on automation. 1 to 3 appointments all the way through. It's a really cool strategy, right? But having that opportunity to be able to put those offers out in the marketplace, that's something, it always starts with, well, what is it that you're sending out there for people to engage with? So it all starts with an offer, right? And you got to be consistent, right? You're going to have to change this up. It never stays the same unless you find one that really converts, and that becomes the control, right? So what can we offer? What can we offer to people? So some of the things you can do is you can give a value add as an offer, or you can ask a question that opens a door to a valuable conversation. So what do I mean by that? So the traditional offers are things like, you can offer lead magnets, right? You can say, hey, I've got a Facebook ad checklist that you should be using to generate ads. And if you want us to do a free audit, just go to the link below and book a time and we can do a free audit. So you can say the 5 critical things that you have to do every time you run a Facebook ad campaign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now, what you want to do, if you're going to send stuff out, you talk about the what and the why, but you don't go into the how. Most people go into the how, and that's where people get unstuck, right? You want to talk about what it is, right, and why it's important, right? So Facebook it gives you the capability to reach large audiences and to build a large audience of people who are actually visiting your offers, right, in the marketplace, right? It gives the best reach. It gives you a mechanism to track and measure every interaction and activity. You can even view if they're watching videos, so you can actually track and measure very effectively. The fact that you actually have a strategy and a structure to maximize optimization and conversion, that's a key part of Facebook, right? And why it's really important is because you can actually you can find out what the critical factor is, the cost of acquisition. And once you get that number, once you work out how much it costs you to acquire a customer, and if that number is only a small percentage of your revenue, then you've got a license to print money you can scale, right? So the 5 things that you need to make Facebook ad campaigns work effectively is, number 1, the strategy. Number 2, the copy. Number 3, the creative. Number 4, the call to action, right? Number 5, the optimization, A/B split testing, management of the campaign, right? Do you have an offer that converts? Yes or no? Yes, no, maybe. I could do a self-analysis. And if you want to know more, if you'd like us to do an audit, right, let's help you with an audit. So that's like a lead magnet that you can send out on a 1-page PDF and say, would you like me to send you the key 5 priorities that you must run every time you run a Facebook ad campaign? Yes or no, right? And you can even make it niche-centric. You can make it niche-centric to a plumber or a lawyer or a doctor or a physical therapist or an engineer or an accountant, right? Or a pharmaceutical company. You can actually make it centric to the niche, right? Things like offering planning sessions, right? Right now, we're in the middle of, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, right? We're still in the middle of a pandemic here in the world. And what's going to happen is there's going to be lots of stops and starts. So what's happening is this disrupting and interrupting the ability or capability for a lot of businesses to be able to run in this current environment. And so what they need to do is they need to be more strategic. They need to be more focused. So one thing you might say is, hey, in this era of uncertainty, in this era of ambiguity, what if you had a very specific structured strategy to walk you through so you can actually keep those doors open and grow right throughout this pandemic? There's an offer that you can make to the market, and you can make it centric to a niche, right? You can offer clients. One of the things that we've had to do, one of our consulting champions who generates lots of lists and leads, literally goes to the market. They actually work in the They're working in the physical therapy space, right? So they're in the PT market. That's one of their areas. They work in a specific sports PT market. And so what they do is they've got like 15,000 PT operators that specialize in this one niche in the PT industry. They've got a list. And so what they're doing is they're going off, and what they do is they're working to obviously generate clients, but also they want to be able to monetize that list because they've built that list. So what they do is they go to channel partners who sell services to sports science physical therapists, right? And say, hey, I've got 15,000 people. Can we partner up together, right? And this is a cold list, by the way. Can we partner up together, run a campaign and profit share? And at the same time, I'd love to look at perhaps ways in which we can improve your marketing to this market, right? So if you've got lists or you've got clients, right, or perhaps you're a pay per lead specialist and you've got leads that you're generating, you can offer the market a lead. Offering market direct leads is a very powerful offer, right? You can offer training. Let me teach you people how to convert better on the phone. Let me teach you how you can get better results from ad campaigns. You can offer training. I'm teaching people right now the critical areas that can actually maximize conversion from a Google Ads campaign, all right? So if you want to, I'm sharing this with a few people. If you want me to teach your people or show you how this works, just reply yes or give me a phone number and I'll give you a call, right? You can provide a gap analysis. Hey, one of the things that most people do is you don't know what you don't know because you don't manage what you don't measure. What we do is we come in and look at all the areas of your marketing when it comes to online, or you might be doing a digital footprint thing like, hey, how's your branding on Facebook? How's your branding on LinkedIn? How's your branding on Instagram? How's your branding working? Right? You might offer a gap analysis, right? You can offer an explainer video. So, hey, I've explained the concept of the biggest problem that most people face in when they're saying most leads suck, right? Here's how you solve the most leads suck problem. So you do a little video explaining, hey, this is why most leads suck. The reason why most leads suck is one, the campaign might be crap, right? The offer is the wrong offer. 2, you're not qualifying the lead. 3, you're not managing the lead in real time. 4, you don't have a process to take people through an effective sales process to convert the sale, right? 5, you don't manage the list. You're actually letting opportunity costs take over. So you're converting very little and losing a lot, right? So these are the 5 things. So I could do a little 10-minute video explaining those factors. At the end of that video, I'd say, hey, right? Imagine if instead of losing those opportunities, you can turn those tire kickers into actual sales. So that's what we do. We actually help you convert sales by managing leads more effectively. So you can make that as an offer. Say, would you like to get the training that we do on turning sucky leads into great leads, right? All of you can do that in a lead generation business, right? You can offer the audit. You can offer to fix something for them. One of my champions, Trevor, he went out to the market. I said to him, look, he said, mate, I've got to get some cash flow happening really quick, really fast. I said, great. So what are you really good at? You're really good at Facebook ads, right? And when you say you're really good at Facebook ads, you know what you to look for to be able to fix or adjust or improve a campaign. Yeah, do it all the time. We're in Facebook ads all day, right? Well, great. So he was in a business group, a Facebook business group in a city, something I would highly encourage all of you to join. Find business groups in your city, not internet marketing groups, business groups, brick and mortar business groups on Facebook. There's thousands of them out there in your city, right? Join the Facebook group, right? And so what Trevor did is he sat there and said, hey, you might be struggling right now and your Facebook ads might suck. And I see this all the time, and I hate it when people are wasting money on ads. So I just want to help people for free, right? No charge. I want to help people just fix sucky Facebook ad campaigns that aren't working right now. That was the post that he put in the Facebook group, right? So, hey, people are asking me this question a lot. I know people get frustrated with this. I see it every single day, and it really sucks. And one of the reasons why campaigns don't work is because of these couple of reasons. If you're happy, I'm more than happy to just look at your campaign. If you want me to have a check, and maybe that look might be able to turn your campaign around, give you better results. So if you're interested, I'm more than happy to just have a peek for you. So the offer was, let me have a look. It was a free value add, right? So 7 people took Trevor up on his offer. 7 people. 4 of those people ended up spending $5,000 a month on Facebook ad management with Trevor. 20 grand in 1 week. Deposits, 20 grand in 1 week, because he made an offer to fix something, right? hey, I noticed this is broken. Video reviews are very, very powerful. Doing video reviews, but what people do with video reviews is they tend to give too much away, too much information. What you want to do is pick 1 or 2 things, right? And say, hey, these are the 2 things that I found, but there's 7 more that need to be fixed, right? Or I found there's one big glaring thing you need to fix, but there's about 7 or more things that need to be taken care of. I'm more than happy to sit down and walk you through what that's going to look like, right? You can do a review that way. Hey, here's a review I did as an offer, right? I generally, if I'm going to do an offer review, I generally will actually ask if they like the review. I don't actually do a review and send it to people. That's what a lot of people do. I know it's an easy thing to do, but here's what happens, right? So there was a person that I worked with a while ago. His name was Tony. And what Tony did was he did 89 reviews, right? Video reviews, 89 website video reviews. And these are really good video reviews, only like 3 minutes long. You'd pick out key components and do exactly what I just told you to do. Said, hey, but there's 7 more things that are really critical right now. There's another thing over here that needs to be fixed. It's really hurting your, if you're running ads, it's really going to be hurting your business. You need to talk to me. I'm more than happy to walk you through, share this with you. But I thought you probably need this big red flag. You need to take care of this right now. So he did 89 reviews, sold 11 websites, made over $200,000, right, doing video reviews. Now, 11 out of 89, 11 out of 89, right? Now, here's the thing. Tony never followed up any of the reviews, none of them. These 11 people came back to him and said, let's do this. We need to do something, right? So he sold 11 websites out of the 89, right? But he still had 68 people that he did reviews for, but never followed up. And when I spoke to Tony, this is like 6 months out. And so Tony says, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to go and do the whole 89 videos and, you know, get another 11 videos, make another $200,000, right? And I said, no, stop. 69 people, you don't know what happened, right? Go and check if they've still got the same problem and say, hey, I shot this for you. I don't know if you saw it, but here's the video. And by the way, I'll give you a call in a couple of days' time just to touch base, introduce myself, and maybe I can help you. Maybe I can help you, right? So out of the 69 reviews that he sent out, he went back and he found about 35 of them hadn't done anything to their site. So this is like 6 months later, hadn't really changed it. More than 35 hadn't changed them, right? Out of the 35, he did exactly what I told him to do. Send the same review. Don't change anything, right? Send the same review, and in the bottom of the email, say, hey, I'm going to touch base in a couple of days' time just to answer any questions you've got about this. I'm just trying to help people to stop making the mistake of doing stuff online, right? So out of 38, another 7 websites. Now, he didn't follow up the 38 people, which is crazy, right? Because he actually would have sold more. But he picked up another 7 deals out of things that he did 6 months ago. You didn't have to redo the review. And the other thing I recommend, if you're going to do the review strategy as an offer, right, only do 4 or 5 and make sure you follow them up. And then do another 4 or 5 and make sure you follow them up. And I'll guarantee you're going to get more sales that way than if you did 20 or 30, because what happens is when you do 20 or 30 or 40, it starts to become difficult to follow up, right? So these are some of the things you can offer your prospective customers in the marketplace, right? The first consideration when you're crafting any offer is to understand your avatar, right? How they're going to benefit the most out of your offer. So think about what you sell and think about how they will benefit. What is the biggest benefit that they will get out of what you deliver? Because that in and of itself can be the cornerstone of your offer, right? I'm going to walk you through some examples of this in a moment. So first consideration, right? Always when you're crafting an offer, understand who your clients are and understand how they're going to benefit the most. Write down 3 or 4 or 5 of the biggest benefits that they're going to have when they use you to solve the problem that they have, right? In working with you, right? So you just write them down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what you want to do is you want to pick the best benefit, the biggest gun that's going to have the biggest impact and use that as the cornerstone of your offer, right? So there's a strategy, and I'm just trying to think. I think it was Dan Sullivan over at Strategy Coach used to do a grid matrix. Now, a lot of marketers use this grid matrix to understand or to craft their offers. And so, what you want to do, the grid is pretty simple. So, if you had a piece of paper and you just did a cross in the middle, right, straight up and down, vertical and a horizontal. And so you've got 4 quadrants, right? So you have the top left-hand side, top right-hand side, bottom left-hand side, bottom right-hand side. So that's your 4 quadrants. At the top right and left-hand side, you write the word frustrations, right? These are the frustrations that people have, right? And then on the top right-hand side, you're going to write the wants. What do people want? So these are the frustrations, the problems. And instead of the problems over here on the right-hand side at the top, you want the wants, right? And then on the bottom left-hand side, which is that over there, right, is fears, right? So if the frustrations continue, what is the exacerbation of that problem? What are the fears that are going to occur if the problem isn't solved or isn't fixed, right? That's really key. Right? And then the bottom right-hand side is aspirations. What do they really want to go for? What is the real objective that they want to go for? So we have up here frustrations, then we have the wants, then we have the fears down here, and then we have the aspirations over here. And what you want to do is you want to fill in those frustrations first. We always want to start with the problem, right? Now, when I talk about problem, I like to understand also what the impact of that problem will be, right? Because some people say, well, one of the problems is not enough leads. Okay, well, not enough leads is a problem, right? If you don't have enough leads, that means you don't have sales opportunities. If you don't have enough sales opportunities, it's going to be very difficult to convert, and that's going to have an impact on your revenue, right? So you might say a frustration would be not enough leads, right? But maybe it's not enough. Maybe it's not enough leads. Maybe it's not enough qualified appointments, right? Maybe that's the real problem. It's not that we've got a problem with the leads. We just don't have the appointments that we need. So instead of leads, maybe we should be talking appointments, right? Hey, right now, we don't generate enough qualified appointments to be able to hit our sales targets and goals. That might be a frustration, right? Another frustration might be referrals are down. We can't rely on referrals. Referrals are sporadic. We love referrals, but the referrals are down, right? So that if the referrals are down, that means we're not getting really good quality prospects, and that means that our sales are going to go down. So maybe a referral issue, right? Maybe another frustration is that the competition is always undercutting us on price, right? We become part of a pricing war, right? We're not the first choice, right? We are one of 3 or one of 5, right? All the customer does is just call me and say, how much is this thing? And then we give them price, and then they hang up and they go and call the next person and say, how much is this thing? And they're looking for the cheapest price. So we hate price shoppers, right? So one of the things we tend to attract, or a frustration, is that we get a lot of price shoppers, right? So if we know there's 3 frustrations, right? Number 1, not enough booked appointments. Number 2, referrals are dropping. So, you know, we're struggling to rely on the cream that the business comes in. And number 3, we're in the price shopping market. So we're competing on price, which is killing us, right, in the market. Now, if these 3 frustrations were to continue, right, what's going to happen in the business? So the compounding effect of not having appointments, reduction in referrals, hammering out to try and be the cheapest in the market, right? What's going to happen to that business? What are some of the fears that business will experience if this problem or these frustrations continue, right? So one of the fears is that might have to downsize. One of the fears is that they might have to let some product lines go because they can't afford to keep all their product lines. Some of the fears they might have to let some people go, right? Some of the fears might be, hey, if we keep doing this, we don't get this right, and we don't get our profit margins right, we might have to shut this thing down, and I might need to go and get a job with my competition, right? So these are the fears, right? So if the frustrations keep going, what is the impact of those frustrations, right? And sometimes in the fears, we also see the crafting of our offer, right? Now, on the top, so we've just done the left-hand side of the 2 quadrants, right? So we've done this side, the left-hand side, or your left, my right, whichever we are seeing each other in the mirror, right? So we've done the left-hand side, right? You're going to do the same thing for yourself along the way. So while I take a sip of tea. Just looking at my some questions that are coming up here. Awesome. All right. So now we want to deal with the wants. Now remember, the frustrations, we know what they are, right? We're not getting enough appointments. So what would be the opposite of not getting enough appointments? Imagine getting consistently qualified and filtered leads booked directly in your salesperson's calendar automatically, right? So from the fear, from the frustration, like we're just not going to have appointments, imagine, right? So it's totally opposite. Imagine having an abundance of filtered and qualified appointments automatically booked in your salesperson's calendar. So from the frustration to the want, right? So not enough referrals. Hey, imagine not having to rely on referrals ever again. Imagine being able to get direct access to buyers, right, online, right? You never have to worry about referrals. Referrals be the cream. Imagine instead getting direct access to customers, to buyers online, right? So you can go direct to the market and you control the marketing, right? So we go from the frustration to the want, right? And price competition. Well, if you're in a price war, what you want to do is you want to be first, right? You want to be the first person, cab off the rank, to have the best opportunity to convert. So imagine, and here's the thing, so where price wars occur is where a lot of people go to aggregator sites like HomeAdvisor, House.com, those aggregator services where people can generate quotes, right? That way, you're not first choice. You're going to be competing with a whole bunch of people because all your competition's there. So instead of competing with you, being in a competitive state with the competition, imagine if we could make you first choice. We could make you first choice and you own that prospect first before anybody sees anything. So we go from a situation of price shoppers to imagine you being the want, you being first choice. First choice, and you own the lead. You own the lead for life. It's not shared with anybody, right? So we go from the frustration of price shoppers to you own the lead, you get first choice. They're your lead, they're your customer, right? So that is the want. So let's look at the aspirations, right? What happens if we fill up our appointment calendars with our sales team? What happens if we can go get direct access to clients and not have to rely heavily on referrals? What happens if we own the client, get first crack? We can actually manage the sales process, dramatically improve our conversions. Those three things alone are going to have a massive impact on the aspiration of the business. Well, that's going to allow us to increase our profitability. We can take that money and scale our business, bring a new product line, hire more people, bring in expertise, buy our competition out. We can do all these things, the aspirations, the reasons why they're in business, right? So if we know these four quadrants, first quadrant being the frustration, right? Second quadrant on the left-hand side, fears at the bottom, wants at the top right, and aspirations at the bottom right. Once we have that, we can start crafting offers. So one of the things that I want to ask you, or want to make sure that you're aware of, is if you understand what the problem is, and this is why most people just don't spend enough time asking enough questions, right? I'm going to give you a perfect example of getting to know your market, right? I have an agency. It's in the health, in the SaaS market, in the health industry. We talk to software companies that service hospitals and doctors and clinicians all over the world. There's more than 200 people that are 20 million plus raised funded capital that we found on the list. We've been nurturing a relationship with about 138 of them over the last 6 months. We've generated more than just over $1.2 million worth of revenue in the last 6 months. And I'm going to share the offer that we did to do that with in the market, right? But here's the thing. We needed to understand this market. We need to have conversations. We needed to have conversations with the people who knew this market. And when I started this just over 6 months ago, I chose this market because I had no experience in it, right? I had no experience in the health niche market, in the health software market, right? I had plenty of experience in the health market, but not in health SaaS, not in this particular genre. But I chose this market because it was capitalized and it was growing. And I knew that it was a recession-proof market. So that's why I chose niche. And I knew I had to choose companies that had revenue and cash flow, right? Because I knew that my average sale was going to be 100,000 plus. It was my average sale or fee for doing software or CRM integration and lead management for these software companies, right? That's what I was offering, right? So when I targeted these companies, I had to get to know what some of their biggest one of the issues are. And I'll give you an example of the things that I had to learn very quickly, and it didn't take me very long. But once I knew these 4 or 5 things, there's about 7 things, these were things I could ask questions of every person I spoke to in the market. And because I could ask questions about them, it made me sound intelligent. It made me sound like I knew what I was talking about. It made me sound like I knew their business, right? Because I knew that these key things, that if they got it wrong, any one of these 7 things would have a direct, dramatic impact on revenue for the business, right? Which is what they need. These were startup companies with $20 million capitalized, right, or more, right? And so they needed to generate revenue because they had investors. They had to pay those investors back, right? So there were critical things that I knew. So to give you an example, the critical things that I had to learn in the process, right? I had to learn things like the net MRR growth rate for a SaaS company, right? The net monthly recurring revenue growth rate of the company, not net monthly recurring revenue, the growth rate, the percentage of growth, right? I had to calculate, right? I had to know things, I learned things like what is the net MRR churn rate, right? So what is the net monthly recurring revenue that actually drops out? Because if I can look at those 2 numbers, I can see a percentage of either growth or drop or drift in the company, right? I had to learn or understand what the gross MRR churn rate is, not the net, but what's the gross, right? So gross monthly recurring revenue. I had to learn things like what their expansion MRR rate is. What's the expansion monthly rate of revenue, right? What's the rate of the percentage of expansion? Because these are the words that my SaaS market spoke in, right? And then I needed to understand the average revenue per account, right? The ARPA, right? And I used to ask this question, so what's your ARPA? And they know what I was talking about, right? They go, oh, well, ARPA is X amount of dollars, right? I had to learn about the lead velocity rate, right? LVR, the LVR, not the lifetime value. The LVR is the lead velocity rate, right? What is the percentage of qualified leads per month over every month? And we measure the development of a pipeline, right? I had to understand what the CAC, right, payback period was. So how long it took, so CAC being CAC, payback period, right? So how long did it take for a company to get a return or make a profit from a customer? And in some cases, some companies took 12 months. Some companies took 18 months to recoup the investment in acquiring the customer, right? But if they don't know what their CAC payback period is, then it's very difficult to actually forecast and manage. And also, more importantly, draw that back and look at price testing structures to grow. Now, the only way I found out about these cool things is I spoke to lots and lots of SaaS owners, influencers, association presidents and executives. I actually had a conversation to say, hey, critical factors that have a direct impact on the business. Now, all of these numbers are impacted by 3 important things that the industry suffers from in SaaS that I discovered. These 7 calculations are impacted by the number of subscriptions that a software company gets. Number 1, how many new subscribers to your free trials and all that sort of stuff? Number 1. Number 2, the conversion, right? The conversion rate of taking somebody from a trial process to a demo and converting to a paying customer, paying the fee, right? So what is the conversion rate of that customer? And the third impact was the dropout rate. So these 3 numbers, lead velocity, conversion of lead velocity into a paying customer, subscriber, and then what was the dropout rate? Because the number between the dropout rate and the number between the actual conversion, if the conversion number is higher, the company's doing okay. But if the dropout rate is higher than the conversion rate, then the company's sliding downwards. Because what it's happening is it's losing money hand over fist every time it's bringing clients. It's losing clients faster than bringing them in, right? So if I know these things, it means that I can have a conversation with pretty much any SaaS company on the planet, because they would know these 7 things that I'll be talking about. Because I could ask them, hey, tell me what your CAC period is. And if they didn't know what the answer was, they will go and find out. Right? They would go, okay, well, Jesus, our CAC period is a long, they might not realize that that's a number that they should be tracking, right? And they should be tracking that number. They might go, holy cow, our CAC period is like 18 months. That's like, we don't make $1 profit for 18 months. That means we're going to be borrowing money from investors to try and keep this thing afloat so we can get the momentum and leverage in the asset future down the track. A lot of SaaS companies lose lots of money up front in the early 3 to 5 years and to be able to recoup those investments down the track. So this is the problem. So the question is that I'm asking you, the question I would ask you in crafting your offer is, what happens when the problem is left unsolved? What happens when the churn rate problem is left unsolved? How much? What is the cost of that? If your churn rate is 7% every quarter, that means that you're going to lose 28% of your customers every year. If you don't fix that hole, if you don't plug that hole in, and you've got a 7% churn rate, at the end of the year, over the course of the year, 28%, nearly a third of your customers will be gone. Now, if you calculate a third of your customers, let's say a third of your customers is worth $1 million. Now, I know what this feels like because I had this happen to me in one of my businesses. We lost $1 million worth of revenue through churn, all right? But we didn't know that number. We figured out very quickly what that number was, and we took that 7% and made it a 1% churn. That was livable. We knew that all clients are going to leave eventually, as all clients do, right? But to go from 7% to 1% and then have a loss of 4% over a year as opposed to a 28% is a huge shift. That means we've got to keep close to $1 million worth of revenue, right? So what is the cost, right? And here's the thing, here's the next question. If we were to solve the problem, right, what impact will that have if we solve the problem? So what's the impact going to happen if we don't solve the problem? Overall, what's the impact? What is the impact if we do solve the problem? That's the key. Those are the things we want to be understanding in this process, right? So moving on to the next piece in the puzzle, okay? So I have a framework, and I teach this in Clients Unleashed, but it's the framework essentially is the problem, the framework of the solution, and the next part of that is the promise, right? What is the outcome? So problem, framework, outcome. Problem, framework, outcome, right? So for example, and we're looking at the frustrations here, right? So the problem is not enough booked appointments or qualified appointments in our calendar. So that's a problem, right? We need to be better at qualifying, filtering those leads. We need to get direct access to customers, right? So we need to be more focused on actually engaging rather than relying on referrals, right? If 50% of our business is referrals, and right now, if you're in a pandemic, referrals went out the window. Most businesses relied heavily upon referrals to grow their business. The pandemic has destroyed referrals, right? It has actually diminished the referral rate, right? And the other thing is we seem to be attracting lots of tire kickers and price shoppers. So problem, not enough booked appointments in the calendar. Number two, we really need to kind of be more direct and focused on accessing clients. Number three, we're relying on referral. We're basically dealing with price shoppers, right? We're dealing with tire kickers, right? So, okay, so the framework might be, and now we're talking about the middle part of the three. So the problem, the framework, and the outcome, right? So framework, well, what do we need to do? What are the three things that we need to do to impact on those things, right? Because collectively, those problems will have a compounding effect on that business. So what do we need to do? Well, first of all, we've got to look at our attraction strategy, right? Then we need to, because they need to filter, they need to qualify, they need to target better, need to be able to manage and qualify those leads. We need to manage and qualify. So number one, we've got to attract better, have a better offer, better campaign, right? We've got to be able to manage the leads. Number three. Number four, we need to be able to schedule a direct appointment, right? We need to be able to go and take that attraction, manage that lead, and make sure that person ends up in the calendar, right? So that's a troika, or the trio of the framework. Very simple. 1, 2, 3. Attraction, management, schedule, right? Appointment. That's your three. Now, how would we do that? If I was a Facebook ad company, how would I go about doing that? If I was a lead management person, I'd be doing exactly the same thing. Although go high level fans, same sort of thing, right? Because what you do is you actually manage that process, right? So what we're doing is building, if you think of the framework, we're building a lead generation, a management, and appointment system to solve those three problems of not enough appointments booked, of relying heavily upon referrals and not getting direct access, or we want direct access and referrals are dropping. And we're dealing with price shoppers, with the aggregators and the home advisors and the house.coms, right? How do we solve that problem? Well, we build a lead generation and a management and appointment system so that you have a consistent, predictable flow of appointments booked every week or every day in your salespeople's calendar. So what we've got to do is we've got to craft an offer, and we're going to use perhaps Facebook or AdWords or whatever we need to do where the best audience is. So we've got to create an offer that converts, number one, right? Number two, we've got to optimize that campaign. We've got to test it, optimize it, and improve it so we get better conversion, so we can scale, right? Then as we're attracting people, we need to be able to manage those people in real time. So we're going to drive those people through a very simple CRM, where an email or a voice drop or a text message is going to go out, right? To respond, to help the inquiry, to indoctrinate, to educate, to answer questions, to drive the appointment, right? So we have that next piece in the puzzle, right? Then we give that ability or those messaging or that structure gives people the next logical step to automatically book an appointment with your salesperson, right? Because you're solving the problem through the engagement. So every lead is engaged in real time. And then the biggest challenge is obviously conversion, right? So you want to make sure that you have the ability to be able to automatically follow up. And so this way you now have a lead generation and a management and appointment system, right? Managing your sales process automatically. This solves those three problems of not enough appointments. This solves the problem of not having to rely on referrals. You're going direct access. This solves the problem of actually you own the lead, you manage the lead, you're not sharing that with a whole bunch of other people in the marketplace. You get the first shot, right? So the result, what's the outcome of doing that? You've got a fully automated lead generation management appointment system, number one. Every lead will be handled immediately in real time, which is the way leads should be handled. That's exceptional customer service, right? And you're going to have, if you follow that process and we get this right, you'll be able to have 20 to 30 qualified scheduled appointments in your business. And essentially, the other part of this is you're going to be able to track the return on investment in that process. Now, if I went to the market, like my SaaS companies that I go to, and I say, listen, you've got a big problem. Number one, you're not getting enough subscribers. Number two, you're not converting them into demos. And number three, you got a massive dropout rate. So if we were able to build a system, right, number one, that actually help people to take the next logical step to going to the demo, and then look at your sales process by providing relevant information to help them to convert that demo into a sale, and then making sure that once they're a customer, that they're indoctrinated and they have a level of automated customer support so you can minimize dropout rate. What do you think the impact will be on your business? Right? Now, every time I've asked that question of a SaaS company, they would go, if we had that working and timed in, that's game over, game changer for us, right? That's what we need to do. That's what we're screwing up on. And so it's very easy to map out that process, because if you understand the problem, then you can make the offer directly that speaks to the problem, right? So that's an example of, if you were to break up a page, we teach this in Clients Unleashed, right? If you want to go and check it out, just go to clientsunleashed.com. You can go and check it out. However, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about offers, right? So let's continue on with the offers, right? So if I was to pull this apart, thinking about that structure that I've just shared with you with the quadrants, right? Here's what it would look like if I was looking at the physical therapy market, and here's what it would look like if I was looking at the SaaS market. So frustration, doctor referrals are dropping month by month. More than 50% of doctor referrals, hospitals and doctors are no longer referring patients to physical therapy practices. What they're doing is they're hiring people internally and keeping the patient managed and rehabbed in their own services, because they know they're giving away millions of dollars worth of revenue that they could be collecting, right? Stick a PT, pay him 75 grand a year, and that person's going to be billing $1 million worth of revenue for you, right? So why give it away? So referrals are dropping from rehab, and so a lot of PTs are suffering, right? Number two, they're competing, the competition's opening around them all the time. One PT opens up, and then a chiropractor opens up, an osteo opens up, a hospital opens up, a rehab clinic. All of a sudden, you've got 6 competitors in the same market. That's a frustration, right? And the other thing is patient flow is sporadic, up and down, not consistent, right? So what happens, right? You don't want to have to rely on, number one, the wants, right? Don't want to have to rely on referrals anymore. You want to go direct access to patients. Number two, you want to become recognized as an expert in your community, so that people recognize you as the premium sciatica specialist or shoulder specialist or knee specialist. You want to build authority so that you can actually eliminate the competition, stand out from the crowd, right? The other thing is you want to have a predictable, automated system that brings you at least 30 new patient opportunities every single month. So from the frustrations to the wants is what we're doing. Now, I don't need to go through the fears and aspirations, right? But if I was doing this from a SaaS point of view, lead flow is inconsistent. Number one, that's a frustration, right? Conversion to paying customer from demo is low. In most cases, that conversion rate could be anywhere between 3% to 5%. It's terrible in the SaaS market. It's horrible, right? The drop-off rate is generally a high percentage rate. It's too high. They're losing monthly recurring revenue. So what they're doing is they're fighting a battle of attrition. This is a frustration for the SaaS company guys, right? The wants, they want a consistent lead attraction process. They want to consistently generate subscribers on an increasing and deal flow basis, right? They want to indoctrinate the lead process, and they want to manage that lead more effectively to be able to convert those demos into trials, and they want to automate their customer service to improve the response times, and more importantly, to deliver the right service to their customers so that they stay, so they're emotionally connected to the investment they're making in the software. So those are the three wants that people have in the SaaS market, right? So let's look at the idea of the offers, right? So if I was making, so if you want to think about relevant offers, right? So think about the impact. So relevant offer these are three things that every business needs to do, including you right now. Number one, you've got to have a relevant offer that's current, right, to customers or to prospects in the market. You got to have a relevant offer. Now, if you're in the mobile, if you're in the website space, right now, mobile is really important. And most websites, if you're looking at responsive websites in WordPress, all a responsive site does is it squeezes the website. And when it squeezes a website, it skews the navigation. So the thing that needs to be at the top, or the call to action, is generally not on the first page of the mobile site. And if somebody has to start moving around the mobile site, then what they're going to do is they'll just go and choose another company because they can't get to what they're looking for. So most websites right now need to be optimized for mobile. So if I was in the mobile, in the development area, mobile would be the way to do. Design mobile websites, design mobile apps, huge opportunity in the marketplace. Or taking existing website and making sure that it is optimized for mobile. And also the ability for upload speed is very important. Most speed loads for mobile sites really low. If you do a speed test, you can do a Google site speed test. You can do a speed test on desktop and mobile. Generally, desktop is faster. Most mobile sites are below 30%. If your mobile site is below, if your mobile upload is below 30% and you're running Facebook ads to it, you're burning through cache. You're burning through because people are clicking through and it's taking too long for the website to load. So what do? Swipe left, right? They go to the next website. So that's burning cash for a lot of people. That's a frustration. I'm just giving you something you can actually test on people and go and check and say, hey, your site takes too long to load on mobile and you're running ads on this thing. This is costing you a fortune. You need to fix this. There's a client opportunity, right? So number two, every business needs to be engaging all current and past clients. Every business needs to be engaging the current clients and looking to upsell their service. Or number two, they should be going back to their past clients and see if they can reoffer in this time. That is a fast revenue opportunity for most businesses. Number three, if you're not advertising, you're dead. If you're not actively promoting your services or you're not visible online in some way, right? If you haven't, let's say if you're doing Google My Business or you're optimizing for SEO, if you're not investing in SEO right now, you're losing opportunities, right? You need to be, SEO has become more important. Organic traffic, super important right now, right? Number two, right? You need to be actively advertising somewhere. If you're not advertising, nobody can find you. And let me tell you, if you look in any search volume in the market where people are running ads, they're the people that are getting the traffic. The people who are running the ads are the ones that are being visible. The people who are not running ads, invisible. So if you're not visible to the market, if you're not letting the market know that you're open for business, then you're out. And so this is another thing for an offer. Hey, are you accepting customers right now? I'm noticing that I actively can't find you, right? When people are looking for you, they can't find you. They find you competition. They're seeing the ads of the competition, right? So what I would generally do is I look to from page 2 down to page 5 on a Google search. That's where I look, those people. Then I will look at those companies, the size of those businesses. They're the people I want to talk to about, hey, right now, these 5 people or 7 people on page 1, they're getting 64% of all the traffic happening right now, and you're not getting zip, right? And if you want to generate clients in your local market or in your market, you've got to be visible. So number 3, you've got to be advertising. If you're not advertising, you're dead. Now, in our world, in the agency world, advertising is something that you should be considering when you're doing about 20 grand a month in recurring revenue. When you're at that 15 to 20 grand, you want to take $1,500 to $2,000 of that 15 to 20 grand, and you want to sink it into Facebook ads, right? Or you want to sink it into Instagram. You want to sink it into advertising, because what you want to do is you want to acquire leads. It's one of the fastest ways to get people to get leads is to run ads, right? Right now, in our space, it will cost you at the low end about $100, at the high end about $200 per appointment, between $100 and $200 appointment. So 5 appointments will cost you $1,000 at the $200 mark. $1,000. If you close one deal, you sell a deal for 12 grand or 18 grand or 36 grand to spend $1,000 to pick up 36 grand, no brainer, right? So, but you want to get to that space to be able to do that. Advertising, getting the right offer, doing that takes a little bit of time. What I'm suggesting is that you want to look at more direct strategies like the ones that I shared yesterday to go to the market, right? So if I was in the SaaS market, right? So would you like to see what the top 3 subscription acquisition plans are for the top 10 SaaS that the top 10 SaaS companies use to scale their companies? Right? If I was doing lead generation for SaaS companies, I'd be saying, hey, let me show you the plans, the strategy plans for the top 10 companies that are acquiring customers and what they're doing. Now, how would I know how to do that? There's this amazing hidden website called Google, and you'll be amazed at how much companies share about their acquisition of clients, how good they are at acquiring customers, right? For example, I know how PayPal acquired customers. Their number 1 strategy was to give you $5 for every time you refer a customer. Right? Dropbox, for every time you referred a customer to Dropbox, they gave you more storage space, right? They literally built a $1 billion company out of giving away free storage space, right? You know, think about all these companies, they had strategies that had multiple angles. If you look at AppSumo, my friend Noah Kagan over in Austin, Texas, right? How he built AppSumo was he knew that the number 1 strategy was I need to build a huge email list. So what did he do? He, in a very short space of time, he was the lead magnet king. He was giving away tons of stuff to people, and he acquired a list, but was able to acquire a list of over 700,000 emails. Now, if you email out to 700,000 people, your conversion rate does, you know, if you had a 0.5% conversion rate on 700,000 people, right? What's that? 450 sales, right? Every time you send an email, imagine if you made 450 sales, and if your average product cost was $300, that's $120,000 every time you send out your emails, right? So understand there are ways, if I knew how companies did this, I could share that as an offer. Hey, would you like to see how people do this, right? Would you like to see a SaaS scale strategy that increases your monthly recurring revenue, decreases your churn rate so you can dramatically improve your revenue cycles? Is that something that would be useful to you as a SaaS company? Right, there's a direct offer, right? Would you like to improve conversion rate of your annual subscribers to minimize dropout rates? What if, and another offer that I made to a SaaS company that resonated was, what if we actually got 12-month upfront paid subscriptions? If I shared a strategy on how you're going to get upfront 12-month paid subscriptions so that you didn't get caught in the billing cycle and having to chase credit cards that fail all the time. That's a big problem to a lot of companies. In fact, it has a 28% impact or more on most SaaS companies is credit card payments. So if I can solve that credit card payment by getting a full year subscription annualized upfront, and I can save you increase your margin significantly, would you like to have a chat to me, right? That's a problem that market has. How will we solve the problem? Really easy, sell 12-month packages, right? Incentivize for people to sign up for 12 months, not monthly. Right? A lot of SaaS companies have been very clever in doing that, right? So those are 3 offers that I would use to go to the SaaS market, right? If I was going to the PT market, can I show you a system right now that's bringing in 30 new plan of care patient opportunity to practices every single month, right? So with a minimum of $1,000 ad spend, I know I can get 30 plan of care, right? I can get direct, you want to get direct access to patients and minimize the impact of doctor referrals. Remember, frustration, so the want, focus on the want, right? Can we talk about how to make you first choice in the community for healthcare and back pain or balance or rotator or knee or autoimmune disease, right? Can we talk about making you first choice for those areas, right? All I'm trying to do is to get an engagement. All I'm trying to do is get the person to say, I'm interested, put up their hand, say, yeah, I'm interested to have a chat about that, right? If I was doing multi-channel retargeting as part of my strategy, so let's say I'm an ad guy or a Facebook guy and I'm doing multi-channel retargeting, right? Would you like to dramatically improve the current advertising results and convert more incoming leads with people who are already interested in buying? Would you be interested in knowing a little bit more about that, right? Can I quickly show you a multi-targeting strategy that drives actual buyers back to your offers on your website? Are you interested in that, right? Can I show you how you can follow every single person that ever visits your site, right? and draw them back in for future offers, right? Can I show you 3 simple campaigns that will revolutionize the current advertising model? And you can have Coca-Cola's ad budget for pennies on the dollar. Are you interested in learning about that, right? That's if I was doing multi-channel or omni-channel retargeting campaigns, right? Sales automation, right? I love sales automation because it's an area that I also specialize in. It's an area that we specialize in the agency, and I've done it many, many times in the past. It's an area that is big development, big growth, big money in CRM, big money. They are go high levelers out there, big dollars. You don't charge enough for what you do, right? But what you can do is you can change up the conversation. So instead of talking about lead generation, you can say, hey, can I talk to you about closing deals from the leads that you've already paid for and discarded, right? Can I talk to you about closing deals for leads that you've already paid for and you discarded, right? Because what does sales automation do, right? You can run a reignition campaign or a client activation campaign, right? First thing you do, if you've got a bunch of leads, you can stick them in a CRM, run a 4-sequence campaign, generate sales, right? So can I show you how you can increase your sales conversion by 30% without spending another dollar on advertising? Can we show you how you can automatically improve those conversions by up to 30% without spending a single dime on extra advertising, right? If I was doing sales automation, there's an offer, right? Facebook ads, right? Can I show you how to get direct access to buyers on their mobile phones and achieve 3 things? Brand your business, make a direct offer to buyers to respond to, and build a database of interested buyers that you can re-offer at pennies on the dollar. Would you like to do that, right? That's Facebook advertising, right? I'm going to show you a Facebook ad system that consistently brings in new buyers and builds a database of customers for you. Are you interested? That's different to saying, let me get you some leads, right? Can I, instead of get you leads, can I show you an automated process on how you can book 30 or more appointments every single month, guaranteed? Yes or no? Most small to medium businesses would love that, right, in the marketplace. So simple offers. Let me close some sales for you, right? Can we get on a quick chat? One of the things is I've said to SaaS companies, listen, let me close some of those, let me help you, or let me close some of the demos you haven't closed. Can we do that? And I've had people respond to that message, right? Your sales opportunity cost is the greatest immediate increase in cash flow position as a strategy. Can I show you how to get your hands on the lost money from your existing churn rate, right? Never lose a sales opportunity by automating follow-up. If we can automate your follow-up, improve your conversions, and not have to rely on your salespeople who are dropping the ball, who can't keep up, right? What impact is that going to have, right? Because I'm speaking to the problem, right? Stop bleeding sales in your business. How many sales have fallen through the cracks? How much revenue do you think you've lost? I'd love to get that revenue back for you. Can we hop on a quick call? There's another offer, right? Stop burning leads, start converting sales, right? These are all offers to the market. Now, if I'm looking for offers, if you're looking for offers that convert in markets, the best place to look is Google. But there's a couple of places that I look for offers in specific markets that convert, right? So, for example, if I was doing, let's say I was doing Facebook ads for the plumbers, right? What I would do is I would go to Groupon and check out the converting deals on Groupon for plumbing needs, because there's fantastic offers that plumbers have made that work, that you can actually run as a campaign. You say, hey, let me show you the top 5 plumbing campaigns that actually convert plumbing calls, right? You can do that for any service. If you go to Groupon, Groupon will actually categorize business levels, and there are literally thousands of offers. And a lot of these offers have already been tested. So these offers actually convert. Can I show you the top 3 converting offers right now for your product category in the market? Right? Are you interested? There's an offer, right? So I like case study sites as well. So marketingprops.com or marketingsherpa.com. These are 2 websites right now that you can actually dramatically get great case studies and great strategy walkthroughs of how people got results. So you can go to your market or go to your niche, check out Marketing Props, and you can actually do a search and see if there's a company that's got a great case study. And then what you can do is you can share the reverse engineered case study of how a company works. Now, one of my consulting champions, Lisa, she did this exact thing. She went to what used to be Infusionsoft, now Keap. So she went to Keap's case study section on their website. And there was a case study of a franchise company, a fitness company on the website that was improving their ability to sell franchises by 100% by using sales automation, right? So she went and looked at that company. She did a search, she went to the website, she applied to get information about the franchise, she downloaded lead magnets, she downloaded all the sequenced emails, right? She hopped on the phone with them, asked them about the opportunity, why their conversion rate was so good. She talked to them and she literally mapped out that entire process. Right? So this was off a case study off a website. And so she said, I've figured out how this company has been able to get 100% increase in sales through this process because I've mapped it out. And then she went to franchise group and said, listen, would you like to see how a franchise company in less than a year increased their sales conversions by more than 100%, and they were closing 1 in 20 franchises into a buy deal? Would you like to see that whole process in that system? I'm interested, right? She only sent that out to a handful of people who were franchise owners, franchisors, not franchisees. She sent it to a handful of people. The first 2 people she sat down, she said, listen, this is not my company, but what I've done is I've broken it down and we do these pieces. We build the lead magnets, we build the automation, the sales funnel, the pages, the landing pages. We build the whole thing. We set the whole thing up. But I want to show you what works, right? So here's the system. And she literally laid it out for them, showed all the bits and pieces, and say, right now, you're converting 1 in 95 or 1 in 67 is about the average. Imagine what would happen to your business if you went down to 1 in 20, right? And they would say 1 in 20, that'd be an absolute game changer for us. It'd be huge, right? So the first company that she shared this with, she wasn't prepared for the company to say, yes, we want that. Can you help build that for us? She wasn't prepared. So she made an offer. It was 80 grand to build a sales funnel for them, right? So she made the offer. In fact, she used a pitch deck that we have over in Clients Unleashed to actually convert that deal, right? So $80,000 first. The second franchise, she got a little bit clever, it was $125,000. Right? So more than $200,000 in deal by reverse engineering a case study of somebody else's website. Now, she didn't say that she did that strategy. She didn't say that she implemented that. What she said is I know this strategy works for a franchise group and here's why. And when the company saw the layout, the framework, they went, holy cow, we want this. This is the thing that we've been talking about. We've never been able to build, right? And because she demonstrated or showed it, she was able to convert the client, right? So she was able to make a direct offer by saying, hey, let me show you something that works, a case study. Let me show you something that already works. Let me show you the top 3 landing page. If you go to iSpionage, iSpionage instead of espionage, iSpionage.com, you go to that website, you can go and pick the top advertisers in categories and put the URL in. It will show you what the keywords are, how much they're bidding for the ads, what their best converting ads are, what the landing pages are, and you can sit there and go, great, let's pick the top 5 landing pages, the top 3 landing pages for air conditioning companies or for roofing companies or for for dental implant doctors, right? And go and show it to the market. Say, look, you're looking for people to come to you, qualified people who are interested in your service. Or what if I shared with you the top 3 performing, converting landing pages right now that we could actually emulate and shortcut the process and save you a ton of money in advertising testing? Right? There's another offer that you can send to the marketplace, right? Another offer. Now, I have a methodology. If you're going to craft an offer, and I'm going to talk about offer, I'm going to open this up to those people here on the Zoom. If you've got questions, we've got a few people that are commenting on the Facebook groups and live. I appreciate you hanging with me while we're doing this, while I'm sitting here looking at you on my screen. And I just want to get you back there. And I'm looking at the comment. I can't read the comment. Keeps opening up. I'll probably catch that comment. But those of you who are here live with me on the Zoom, I'm going to be able to help you with some offers in just a minute. But some of the things, some of the takeaways that you need to be thinking about. Understand, number one, always understand the problem. Understand the problem intimately. That's going to give you a much better structure in working with clients, right? If you understand, that means that you can speak to that, and that means people are going to be more interested or more open to engaging you, right? Now, most people do things like cold email. If you want to make cold email work, the biggest problem that most people have with cold email is they create one email, send an email out and they fail, right? Nobody responds. They might get an open rate. With cold email, if you're getting a 30% plus open rate, you're doing really well. We have people that I work with that get 75 to 85% open rates on cold email, but they've dialed it in. They've dialed their message. Richard, one of our champions that I coached, we got him from a 12% open rate to a 75% open rate. On average, for every 100 emails, Richard was getting between 13 and 17 appointments for every 100 emails that he sent out. So cold email is pretty powerful if you get it right. And it is a process. And sometimes you get lucky. And yesterday I shared a few offers where people could send that out and you might have got some responses, right, from the offers or for the campaigns that you sent out. But today, I'd love for you to send a message, whether it be a text message, whether it be an email, whether it be a Facebook post, whether it be a messenger message, whether it be an Instagram direct message, something that you can send out directly to say, hey, and the easiest offer you can send is, let me show you how something works. Let me show you how, the demonstration, right? Let me show you how to optimize a proper Facebook ad campaign. Let me show you how to set up automation or conversions on Facebook leads. Let me show you how to manage leads in real time, right? If you teach people what you know, more often than not, you're going to get clients, right? More often than not, you're going to get clients. The teaching what you know is a very powerful strategy to generate customers. Right? So number one, know your market. Number two, know the problem. Number three, understand the impact of that problem. What is the cost? How much is it going to cost them if the problem keeps exacerbating? Because the more you understand that, the more you can actually speak the problem, right? Then you want to look at the wants. What's the outcome, right? If the problem continues to occur, then naturally there's going to be a loss. If we were to solve that problem and that problem was predictable, or that problem became consistent, that we solved it, then what is the upside? What's the impact of that? What's the growth, the aspiration, right? So if we know those, we can speak to that. We can craft an offer for those things. In a moment, I'm going to do some quick fire offers for people here live with me on this call, right? So the next thing, I have a methodology. I've been using it for years. It's not, this is something I learned from guys like Jay Abraham, who are my mentors. Frank Kern uses this in a cash machine, calls it a cash machine. For me, it's a campaign method, right? So I call it the low bar campaign method. This is my spin on the strategy, right? Number one, you want to lead with a subject line that's going to get some interest. A common one or a popular one that people use is quick question. Hey, Johnny, quick question. Hey, Grant, quick question. Hey, Howard, quick question. Hey, Eric, quick question, right? Eric, hey, Eric, quick question. It's going to make you open or click that, right? You want to play with your subject lines. I often use, if you Google the top 100 subject lines or top 100 best ever copywritten headlines, I often craft my subject lines out of the best copywritten headlines that have been tested. Billions of dollars of the money have been spent on those headlines. You can just Google them, they're easy to find. And you can just look at the spin, okay? Look at what you know, why they're converting, right? So how can you apply the same methodology to get the subject line to convert? So number one, your subject line is critical to get people to open. Now, your first sentence is key because it's the first thing, they're looking at email, it's the first thing they read, right? If they get through the first sentence, right, it's going to do one with two things. One, they'll go, nah, immediately not read further on. So it's not compelling, it's not engaging, right? Or number two, they're going to keep reading, right? So you want to keep if you're going to do cold email as an offer, you want to keep it to no more than 3 sentences or 3 paragraphs. No more than 3 short, punchy paragraphs. You want to tell people exactly what you want to do. Sometimes you can do a 9-word email. I love 9-word emails. They work brilliantly. My friend, Dean Jackson, who is the master of the 9-word email. In fact, I think he coined the phrase. If anybody wants to look up 9-word email, Dean Jackson, you'll know who I'm talking about. He's an absolute legend in the marketing community. But he had simple emails. Hey, do you need some help with your website? Hey, are you interested in getting Facebook ads working? Hey, would you like to see an AdWord campaign that converts? Hey, would you like me to show you how to follow up leads automatically? It would just be a simple, are you interested? Hey, would you like to see? Are you interested in this? Yes or no? Are you interested? Are you interested? Are you interested? 9-word email is very powerful for people who you have a relationship with. They're really good if you use them on Facebook posts. 9-word emails on Facebook posts are brilliant to get. You'll see a lot of people doing it. Hey, would you like my, I just did this cool conversion report. I've used them heaps of times, right? Hey, would you like a copy of my sales script? You know, are you interested in getting my super conversion tactic? Yes or no? And then people will respond, yep, and it opens up, right? So 9-word emails are a very fast, punchy offer, right? You can just ask the question and you'll get a reply. Anytime you do emails, you need to respond. So this is the other thing that I will say if you're going to run email campaigns. On email campaigns, make sure that you are able to respond in real time if they respond or reply. If you wait a day, you're gone. They'll forget about you. They don't know what they responded to. They're out. If you wait too long, they're gone, right? If you leave it, like if you reply by email, right, you'll generally, whatever that reply is has got to take the next step. The next logical step is a conversation. Right. So in your process, if your offer, what is your sales process? What's the next step? Right. Let's get on a call. So how do you help that person get on the call? What most people do is I'll go and stick their calendar link in the actual second email. Right. So, hey, well, great. I can help with that. Book a time. And when you book a time with people, that can be a little bit off-putting. Right. That can be like a bit harsh. So sometimes what you want to do is you want to soften it. Right? Hey, can I send you the thing, right? Or I've got this little video, can I send you this thing? And then I'll follow up, I'll touch base with you to answer any questions you've got. So you can open up that line of conversation, right? So the first thing, hey, are you interested? Can we get on a call, right? Don't put your calendar link in there. Oftentimes that's going to put people off. And say, look, I'll tell you what, I'll send you this thing, right? And then I'll touch base with you, see if we can have a chat about it. Right. So it's like a bit of a soften the blow. But the 4 emails that I send is, number 1 is the offer. Whatever your offer is, right? Straight up front. This is what it is. You're hit them with the big guns first. You've got a compelling offer, right? And then great. So if they open it, awesome. If you get a reply, even better, but you must reply immediately. And how to do that is make sure you either have an auto reply on your email or you have a notification on your mobile phone so it notifies you when everybody jumps in to reply to your email. So you can see the notification. And when you get the notification, you can reply instantly. Say, hey, thanks for doing that. And they see it straight away in their inbox. They go, oh, crap, these guys are quick, right? So this is a fast way to engage, right? iSpionage.com, yes, iSpionage.com. So the method is pretty simple. So number 1, you make the offer. Number 2, the subject line is, I didn't hear back from you. Eric, I didn't hear back from you, right? Howard, I didn't hear back from you. Tony, I didn't hear back from you. Mark, I didn't hear back from you. Whenever you see I didn't hear back, you go, oh, right? You'll be amazed. The second email will probably get more open rates than the first email because they see their name again and they go, oh, what didn't I get back to, right? So the second email, so you didn't hear back from you. And then in there, first sentence, right, you reframe the offer. You do the same thing. Hey, didn't get a chance. Not sure if you saw this, but this is what this is about, right? So that's the second email. The third email is, I'd love to know what you think about this idea. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Eric, I'd love to know, right? Eric, I'd love to know. I need to know. In other ways, Tony, I need to know. Mark, I need to know. You need to know what, right? Open that email and you reiterate, hey, I'd love to know what you thought about this offer. I'd love to know, if this is something that might be useful to you, yes or no. Reply with the best phone number. I'm going to have a quick chat, right? If you're interested, right? There's a call to action, right? The last email is, are you still interested? The last email is, hey, Tony, are you still interested? Are you still interested? And then you reiterate the offer again, right? So this way, a person is going to see your offer at least 4 times. And the obvious question people ask is, how often do I send emails? You send them once a day, once every day, right? Because you think about new emails every day, your email is going to get lost in the pile. And if they keep seeing your email 4 days in a row, they're going to go, what's this all about, right? Or you're improving the chance of them engaging with the email, right? But open rates is key. Now, if you really want to speed up the process of sales, is just call them and say, hey, I noticed you opened the email. If you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue the conversation. Fair enough? And then you have a reason as to why to call, right? So if you use the email, one of the fastest ways to convert is just pick up the phone and say, hey, sent that off. I noticed you opened the email yesterday afternoon. I just wanted to touch base. Look, if you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we can continue the conversation. Is that fair enough? I've never had a single person say no to that request, right? That is the easiest script that you can use to have a conversation with somebody. Say, hey, sent that to you. You probably missed it or you didn't see it. Look, I understand. If you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we can continue the conversation. Is that fair enough? And they go, yes. And then you can tell them exactly what you sent them. So now you're doing the very thing you want to do, is actually have a conversation with the people that you're sending an offer to, right? So I'm happy to answer questions here while I'm here with you. If you want to, those who are on the Zoom, those over in the Facebook group, we will put the Zoom link tomorrow in the Facebook group, so you'll catch me on tomorrow's session. But if you've got a question right now, you can either unmute your microphone if you're here about an offer. I can help you craft an offer, put one together for you, or I'm going to say thank you, and we're going to do tomorrow's session. So anybody want me to help them with an offer? Just either unmute or just chat. Just let me know.
Hi, John. I'd like some help with an offer.
Somebody that, who is that?
It's
Eric. Hey, Eric.
Hey, John.
Okay, so given the market, I know it's lawyers.
Estate planning, probate.
Estate planning lawyers. Okay, so what's the biggest problem, Eric? How much money, by the way, what's the average sale of an estate planning service for a lawyer? How much money do they make when they get a client?
Let me check my trusty reference here.
That's the first thing I want to know, is what is the value of the sale, right? So how much, so good old Google will tell you exactly how much a probate or an estate fee is for a law firm. Highest and lowest price, highest and lowest price. So it's the highest price with the lowest price.
It says a will is 300 to 1,000. So that's the first I found. I know there's an hourly, could be somewhere between 250 and 350 per hour.
Yep. So let's say the average is about $1,000 on a decent probate and estate. Yeah.
They say it's 2%, 4% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the next 100,000, and 2%.
That's for probate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I would rather focus on the probate leads rather than on the other leads, right? So if we're talking about probate, the percentage, the average percentage, like on probate, if you look at the average asset for a decent person, probably $500,000, that's 20 grand, right?
Yep.
So my question would be is, can I walk you through on right now, are you accepting probate clients? That's a good offer. Right now in this time of craziness, are you accepting probate customers? Yes or no? There's your offer. Second, I didn't hear back from you. Are you accepting probate customers? Yes or no? Third email, are you right now? What do you think of the idea of increasing number of probate clients for your practice? Yes or no? Right. Last email, hey, are you interested in getting some probate clients? Yeah.
Like it.
That's it. Straight to the point, right? Or another way to do this, if we know the average client's 4% per 100,000, right? The average probate is going to be at least 12 grand. I would imagine the average probate would be at 12 grand, right? So you can say, look, we know the average probate is up to $12,000. What if we could actually give you direct access to people who are interested in doing probate with you and your practice? Is that something that might be useful? Can we get together and have a talk about that? There's an offer, right? That's a little bit more specific, right? Hey, I'm actually actively engaging people who are interested in using probate with attorneys. I want to talk to probate attorneys who want to engage with those customers. Can we have a chat? That's the door open, Eric.
I knew there was a reason I turned up tonight, John. That's solid.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, man. I'd love to let me know how that offer goes. If you need to send that offer out, I know it's Sunday night, so tomorrow's Monday, right?
Oh yeah, it's going out. It's going out tomorrow. It's awesome. First thing in the morning.
I'd love to know what happens on the open rates.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know tomorrow night. Hopefully, I have some good news.
Awesome. Right. So, Russell Prisco, is the 3-pay option monthly? Yes, Russell, absolutely. It is. Yeah, mate, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. By the way, Russell's asking a question about Clients Unleashed. One thing that I'm launching next week in Clients Unleashed, I've been testing the strategy where we're actually physically engaging 50 people who are in our niche market every day. From that 50, you'll get probably between 15 and 20 engagements. Of that 15, 20 engagements, my goal is to generate between 1 and 3 appointments per day. And right now, I've been messing with this with the software, and it's just blowing me away with the actual results. So those who are interested in Clients Unleashed, can jump over to clientsunleashed.com. Because we're actually going through 3 aspects. Number 1, getting super clear, define an offer as a whole structure and process to go through. Number 2, to actually have to be able to generate 1-3 appointments every day. That's the second part of the process. Number 3, making it easy, like going through a really simple qualifying sales process and actually having a really simple system to help clients invest. So that's what Clients Unleashed is all about. People have been asking me. If you go to clientsunleashed.com, you can jump on over there. I do 2 trainings a week. Plus, you get some access to other resources that I've got, pitch decks, promos, structure, strategy, and also access to me. So if you've been curious, just go to clientsunleashed.com because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get into a system of consistency. I've been testing this software. It's been pretty awesome. And it's amazing. Like, I cannot tell you how freaking easy it is. Johnny Odell is chomping at the bit. He's in Eric Watson's chomping at the bit. They're already in there waiting for this to happen. But they've been going through that process of getting that clarity in that offer. Once you got that piece, once you plug in this piece, and we tell you the campaigns that we're running to generate appointments is stupid crazy. So if you want to know more, just go to clientsunleashed.com. So so when you're asking me that question, Andy, what are you selling? What are you selling? Tell me what you're selling. If you can type in the chat, that'd be awesome. I'll tell you if it's suitable or not. Johnny's ready to launch. Okay. No, we're good. Yeah. So Andy, just tell me what service you are selling or what you're thinking of doing. I can let you know. So offer. Let me craft an offer for you, Titus. If you're out there, I'm more than happy to craft an offer. Whoever Big Lion Media, if you can just type your name in the chat, Big Lion Media, that'd be great. For those of you on the Facebook group here, I'm just looking on my Facebook here. I've got a few people commenting on here now, but if you've got a question, feel free to ask a question. I see Rajesh out there in the background looking straight at me in the Zooms. Any other questions? Oh, g'day, John. Good to see you here, Mr. Wibbenhorst. It's been a long time since we've seen your name, John. Got some experience in this space, but don't provide a service right now. I'm drowning in info. Andy, my question to you is really simple. Do you want to go and get some customers now, or do you want to wait? Do you want to do it later? Because all we're going to do is get one offer out to the market, one core offer. We've got to get out of the info space and get into the action. If you want to get into the action, I'll get you there fast. All we've got to do is pick one offer, one market, one conversion strategy, and go straight to the market and generate sales. So if you're interested in Andy, you'll get a lot out of it. You'll get tons of stuff out of it. Because the whole thing is the reason why I've structured, and Clients Unleashed, by the way, is very, very new, right? Clients Unleashed is very new. The reason why I've structured in that way is it only focuses on that key factor of engaging clients, making sure you're super clear on your offer, engaging a customer, right? Actually going after, opening the door to those conversations, which we all want, and then having a sales process that allows the customer to step into buying. So that's all it does. That's what Clients Unleashed is designed to do. It's designed to be very pragmatic about engaging, starting those conversations and getting those clients working. So for those of you who are here, and some people have already joined, which is great to see, and I appreciate that. But yeah, Clients Unleashed is being designed specifically for the impact of your business. I want to generate, the goal is to get to $100,000 of revenue in 6 weeks. That's the goal. 100 grand cash rolling in the bank. Darius, good to see you here. Darius, mate, it's been a long time, mate. Good to see you here. on the tiles. Andy, I would you'll get exactly what you're looking for if you jump in, Andy. Hey man, hope you're well. Looking good. I don't know if that's an old photo or a new photo, but you're looking good there, man. Good to see you, Darius. Questions, offer. If you want me to craft an offer, let me help you craft an offer. I'm more than happy to help you out here. If you want me to craft an offer for you, let me help you out. If you want to unmute or if you want to type in the chat, give me the market, give me the service you're offering, and I'll craft an offer for you. You can launch it, send it out to the market. I can't give you better than that. Grant, Andy, Mark, Amy, Chris, Harley, Titus, John. Offer for realtors. Okay, so John, realtors are terrible at following up. Realtors are terrible at following up. One of the cool things about using something like Go High Level is you can actually structure things like having automated notifications for new listings going out to clients. You can talk about putting a buyer's list together and managing that buyer's list automatically through Go High Level. So you can sit and say, hey, imagine having automatic pitches, right, for real estate deals being prompted by a simple system, right? So imagine having automated buyers or buyers coming in automatically, pitching deals on opportunities for property. There's an offer you can send out to the market. Melanie, good to see you, Melanie. Doing monthly marketing webinars where I'm charging for the webinars. Congratulations, that's an awesome thing to do. You've got a 24% open rate, but less than 1% conversion rate. Can you use yes, of course you can use my email conversion strategy, Melanie. Absolutely you can. No problem at all. You can certainly use that. Brian, always good to see you here, my friend. Rod, awesome to have you here. Russell Prisco, good to see you. But yeah, what else would I recommend? Well, my thing would be if you're getting a 1% conversion, so that means one person out of every 100 is actually buying, which is ultimately not a bad conversion rate. My thing would be is if you ask, why do people actually sign up for the webinar? Right? Think about why they sign up for the webinar. What do they get out of the webinar? Is that being communicated in your pieces? Are you sending enough information to them to actually convert and say, hey, time's coming, here's another thing you're going to learn. You can actually prompt people, Melanie, on a consistent basis to get them to. For me, a 1% conversion rate, depending on the volume, might be a really good conversion rate. But 24% open rate is not bad. That's still pretty good. If you, the only thing that'll improve an open rate will be the subject line. That might change the open rate. Can you, Melanie, I know that we've spoken before, but if you can do me a favor and you can unmute, can you tell me who you're going after?
We're going after small business owners.
Okay, that's a very broad market. That accounts for about 30 million businesses across
in the New York, actually in the New York area, then I should say, small business owners in the New York area.
When you say small business owners, so does this work if I'm a brain surgeon?
Yes.
It does, right? Yes. So this will help a brain surgeon. So why not narrow down the niche? If you narrow down the niche, your conversion rate's going to be higher.
Okay.
You're speaking to the audience, like small business owners don't identify themselves as small business owners, right? Like an accountant doesn't identify themselves as a small business owner, but he is a small business owner. So he identifies himself or herself as an accountant. So if you have a strategy that directly helps accountants, then get a whole bunch of accountants on a webinar and it's very relevant to accountants. But if you're using the word small business, then the topic is too broad. Because a lot of people don't identify themselves as a small business. They identify themselves as the service or the product that they provide. Yeah. So that may be a key in your conversion strategy.
Yeah. In the video that I scripted for this month's webinar, I actually decided to name, if you're a doctor or you're, like an accountant, an
Yeah.
attorney. So I actually decided to name who
Yeah.
who this webinar would be applicable for.
So Melanie, when you do that, if you're a doctor, an accountant, or a dress shop owner, or if you're doing that, a doctor does not want to hang out with a webinar with an accountant. But as soon as a doctor hears that, so what? I've got no connection to an accountant. I'm a doctor. How's this work for me? Because when you're saying if you're this, if you're this, if you're this, if you're this, and they're different niches when you're doing that, right? Those niches are going to say, well, how the hell is this for? Like, I'm a doctor. I don't relate to an architect, or I don't relate to a contractor, or I don't relate to a. So really, if you're going to do that in a video, just pick one niche, right? Just pick one market, right? So you can say if you're in the health area and you're a chiropractor or a physical therapist or an osteopath, these are very related audiences, right? So you can pick a niche and then look at the similar subcategories, right? So if I was picking, let's say, for example, if I was choosing plastic surgeons, so if you're a plastic surgeon, you specialize in rhinoplasty, in breast augmentation, in mummy makeovers, in tummy tucks, so you can identify the procedure so that then the doctor goes, yeah, I'm a plastic surgeon, and yeah, I specialize in rhinoplasty, or I specialize in body reconstruction, or I'm a cleft palate specialist, right? So that way they go, okay, I can relate to the other doctors because we're in the same niche, right? Although I have a specialty. Same with the dental practice, right? If you're a dentist right now and you specialize in all-on-4 dental implants, Invisalign, right? So you can break down the niches and like, that's me. I'm the implant guy, or yeah, I'm the Invisalign guy, or yeah, I'm the cosmetic dentistry guy, right? Or person, yeah. So that way you're going to get a much stronger resonating. If the more generic you are, and the more broad you are, and the more broad in the relationship, then you're going to diminish your impact, right?
Okay, got it.
So you need to think more condensed.
Narrow.
Now, let's say, for example, if whatever you're doing, Melanie, helps plastic surgeons, well, there's a website, and it's called the Society of Plastic Surgeons Organization, or Association American. It's the Society of American Plastic Surgeons.org, right? So just Google Society of American Plastic Surgeons. On that website, there's a thing called Find, right? Find your plastic surgeon, right? Now you can put in zip code. So let's say you're in New York, right? You're up there in New York, and you can put in 100007. Was it one?
How'd you know that was my zip code? That's actually my business zip code.
Well, I lived in New York City for 3 years, so I know the zip codes in New York. Right? You can pick zip codes, and then you can pick a radius. So if I was to pick 10007 and then pick 50 miles as a radius, so 50 miles is going to take you into Connecticut, upstate, and 50 miles is going to take you out to Jersey and New York State, and down south probably as fast. Well, not that much further than Staten Island and the outer boroughs there in Jersey. But if we go 50 miles, if you select, now you can select rhinoplasty only. And the last time I checked, 50-mile radius from 10007, there were 198 registered plastic surgeons who specialize in rhinoplasty in the New York area, 50-mile radius of the 5 boroughs, right? So it gives you the name, gives you the practice name, might even give you a website, might even give you a phone number. But now you can just go, hey, rhinoplasty, there's 198 just in New York. I know that there are more than, I think there's about 670 over in LA, Orange County, and San Diego, just doing rhinoplasty, right? So that's a lot. The only reason I know is an easy website to find numbers. It just shows you how many people. But there, in that service, there are more than 40 different service categories. So you can pick whatever service category, and it will give you a list of the doctors that do that procedure. And if you look at that website, it'll tell you what the average earn per doctor, profit-wise, is on procedures, right? So I know on rhinoplasty that a doctor keeps $16,000 of the $80,000 that it costs to do a rhinoplasty surgery. He gets to keep $16,000 of that. That's what the report said last time I checked, right? That could have changed, right? So you can go into the detail and you can pick the markets with the best revenue. That just gives you an idea. But Melanie,
let me ask you something. How would you apply an offer for high level to them?
Oh, to me, it would be managing patients. To me, a high level offer for that would be, first of all, are you running ads? If you're running ads, then you need to automatically manage those leads into appointments. So you want to get the lead into an appointment in your calendar, and you want that schedule so you have that person sitting down talking to you about their procedure, right? So go high level would be make sure that your advertising dollars aren't sending patients to your competition.
Okay.
Right. That's one way. Don't lose. Are you advertising for the competition right now? If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not managing your patient opportunities in real time, you're losing revenue. If the biggest problem that most doctors feel is the qualification, the ability for the patient to pay. Johnny, the website is the American Society of Plastic Surgeons.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, John. Long time no see. It's Howard.
Hey, Howard, good to see you, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry you can't meet us on New Year's Eve. I'd love to be listening to your band on New Year's Eve night.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I've been working on remodelers, kitchen remodelers in particular, but I've been finding that, like some of the other niches you were just discussing, they tend to be general contractors. They do roofing, they do solar, they do kitchens, baths, they do extensions, so it's very hard to narrow them down. They're not really on LinkedIn, and I've done all the Boolean searches. And
Okay. Can I just share with you where they are, Howard?
associations, trade shows.
Nope. There's a website called houzz.com, HOUZZ.com. HOUZZ.com. Has 3 million contractors on there in the United States. Now, the first 3 pages of houzz.com, you have to pay $36,000 a year to be shown on that directory. And that directory, you share the freaking leads. It's terrible, right? So here's the thing. The first 3 pages, you can go to kitchen, bathroom. You can go to remodel. These remodeling companies spending 36 grand. That's just on one website, dude. They got money, right? And they're burning leads and they're sharing leads with a whole bunch of other people. So if you're looking for sizable companies, you'll find them there. They're generally advertising, promoting there. The other guys are there, the smaller guys are there, but you generally find the bigger guys there. And what you're looking for is you're looking for guys that do 10 to 20 kitchens a month. That's what you're looking for, 10 to 20 kitchens a month. Because 10 to 20 kitchens a month means that they're having to manage between 50 and 100 leads or more. They probably do about 150 leads a month. That doesn't sound right. No, they'd be doing 200. They'd be 250. They'd be up to 250, 300 leads a month is what they're hitting. So if they're spending money on 250 to 300 leads, they're closing 10 to 20 kitchens on average. So you just need to ask how many deals you do in a month, right? From where you are right now, how many deals do you want to be doing in a month? It's a pretty simple question, right? Now, Howard, you don't need freaking thousands. You just need 20 people. You just need to find 20 people. If that was your job, I could get 20 people in 3 days, right? Or I could hire somebody to say, listen, I need you to go and call, because here's the cool thing about Houzz. In Houzz, you can actually call them. The number's right there. You can actually call from the website. So you don't have to go find a directory or anything like that. You just hit the call button and just call them straight, right? So you can get somebody else to call them and say, listen, how many kitchens you build a month, right? How good are you? How many kitchens you doing? Oh, we do 10, 15 kitchens. Bang, that's a lead, right? So you know the company. Who's the boss? Who's the owner? Oh, it's Mary. She's the chief designer. Yep, she's the best designer. Great, thanks for letting me know. I'll get back to you, right? So now you've got a name, and now you've got a company that's doing 10 to 20 kitchens a month, right? So I could have that list in a day. I could probably get that list in less than a day. I could probably pay somebody $20 or $30 to give me that list. But now you only got a list of 20 people that actually can handle 200 to 300 leads a month, right? Which is the system that you're building. is you're building a system that can enable to handle 50 plus leads a month, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So if you want customers, that's what I do. I go straight there. Yeah. Andy, if you want to send me an email, just send an email to me at john@consultingunleashed.com. I'll just put in the chat here at consultingunleashed.com. I've just given my email out to everybody, right? But if you want to ask me some questions, Andy, I'll respond to your questions very quickly. So just give me your questions. I'll answer your questions. Okay. So Howard, does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
all
great.
you need is 20. I will get 20 of them. And for me, for those guys, it really is about conversions and follow-up because they lose deals. Most of those people actually lose lots of quotes because in that game, you're competing against 3 or 4 guys. It becomes very quick a price game in that business, right? So then it's about relationship and how much they like and what their process is. If they've got their process dialed in, right, they're a game changer. Yeah.
Mm.
Who else? So Howard, thanks for asking the question. It's always good to see you here. So Russell, an offer for GMB. So Russell, just give me my interpretation of the acronym GMB is Google My Business, right?
Yes,
so on
sir.
average, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, Russell. Now, if we're going to sell Google My Business, right now, how much are you selling Google My Business for? If I said, hey, Russell, I've got an agency. It's in New York City. Can you help me with my Google My Business? How much are you going to charge me?
Let's just say 1,500 to 2,500.
Just to set it up?
No, monthly.
Monthly. Okay. So, all right. So we're looking at about 18 grand a year, right? That's pretty good business. Now, right now, for local businesses, really important to be found in that top 3. Really important, and you want to be sticking, and you've got to have a strategy. So the way to do that is you need to, if you've got a strategy, Russell, that maps out the process of optimizing a GMB, right, to make sure you're showing in the 3. Depending on the local business, that could be worth an extra 30 to 100 phone calls a month for free, right? If you can stick. I know people who do GMB, on average, are getting about 80 free leads a month out of GMB. Right now, $1,500 a month on management is about an average, right? So what's that? For 10, it's like $20 a lead. That's pretty good deal, right? You with me?
Yep, I'm following. Sorry. Yeah, I have it muted just in case my kids walk in here.
Okay, that's all right. All right. You know, so just to help you out here. So for me, number one, you want to be found in the top 3. So right now, most businesses are not visible. But what if I was? So my offer would be, let me get you in the top 3. Let me get you in the top 3, and you're visible on your major keywords in search. So let me help you be visible and generate 67% of the traffic off of Google. Because 67% of the traffic goes into GMB in those first 3, right? So number one, I want to get you free clients. That's number one.
Well, okay, so 67% comes from the GMB. That's
Yeah.
over and above the SEO listings and the pay-per-click.
Well, SEO right now, you're at position number 7 on a front page.
Gotcha,
You know,
yeah.
ranking wise, you know, position 1 ranking, you got to pay for it. Right? That's an ad, right? So if you want to be in the top, top 3 for maps, then you got to optimize. So citation. So the idea is let me share with you a very simple strategy that will optimize you for 67% of the traffic who is searching for your product category. There's an offer. Can I show you how that works? Right. So you can go direct to the market and say, hey, let me show you how this works. You can say, hey, this is why GMB is so important. By the way, Google, in their infinite wisdom, they have a whole page dedicated, a whole section dedicated to Google My Business. And they actually give you these step-by-step instructions on what you got to do to optimize a GMB site in accordance to be indexed by Google. So they actually give you the rules, right? Now, I have found that if you follow the rules, you're pretty certain to dominate in the top 3.
Awesome, thank you.
Now, guess what? Most SEO people don't know the rules. So that's your competitive advantage. Like I used to sit there. So Google, one thing I would highly recommend for everybody here is go and download Google's optimization guide. Google's optimization guide, right? Website optimization guide. It gets updated every 3 months. It's a free guide. It's 36 pages and there are 16 steps. If you follow the 16 steps that Google recommends to index a site effectively and correctly, you will probably rank in the first page for a number of keywords if you follow the instructions of Google. Yeah. So that's something for free. And Russell, you can say, hey, we'll give you Google's optimization guide. If you're interested, we can show you, and we'll also give you Google's rules of how you can get this done properly. The majority of people don't even know. The number of SEO people I talk to when I say, hey, have you ever downloaded Google's optimization guide? I go, no. Oh, why not? It's the Bible of SEO, right? It's the Bible of SEO. And yet most SEOs don't even know it exists because they don't even know to look for it. Right?
Were those two separate things, John? The optimization guide and the rules?
The optimization guide is the same steps also will help you in GMB. Google has got a whole section on GMB. In fact, they've got internal training videos you can get access if you have a Google account. You can get access to for free that'll explain the whole process and why it's so important and what the tricks are to actually making sure that you stick at the top 3 in the page.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Awesome, Russell. Thank you. Any other offers that you'd like me to create? Happy to create them for you. I'll do one more and then I'll say thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic, what are we talking about tomorrow? John Logar, what are we talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about the pesky hot niches. Tomorrow's cool. So tomorrow's fun topics. I'm going to be talking about, it shouldn't be the pesky hot niches, but I'm going to be talking about emerging and hot niches that actually want to buy services, whether it be websites, copywriting, e-commerce, you name it. I'm going to walk you through those that actually want to buy and where you can find them. The replay for this, Amy, just go to Consulting Unleashed in Facebook and you'll see the replay in the lives in the Facebook group. That's where it's going to be. So you'll see it in there. It's actually live as I'm speaking right now. Yep. So yeah, it's still going live as I'm speaking right now. So yeah, so if you're going to be joining tomorrow is all about the hot market. It's going to walk you through the challenges, the problems, the intelligence, where the money is in those markets. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Yes, Andy, I'll let you into the Facebook group. I'll make sure our team, I know a lot of people have been requesting, so our team will let you in. Yes, we'll let you in there. You'll get access to all this cool stuff.
Is it the same link as today?
Tomorrow's link will be the same link as today. Yeah, tomorrow's link is the same link as today, and the same password. Don't say the password, Howard. Same password. Yeah, same password every day, right? And same link for the Zoom link every day. So we're going to do this all the way through to New Year's Eve. Hopefully this is good. I'd love for you to go and send some offers out in the next 24 hours. I'd love to see if we can get some feedback, whether you're on Facebook, you're watching this, or you're here with me on the Zoom. I'd love to get some feedback from you in applying some of this stuff, because that's why I'm doing this. The whole purpose of this is to go and get clients now. And we have 5 days, 4 days before the end of this year. And let me tell you, all of us can do this. I highly saw an offer for Google Ads for e-commerce brands, minimum 15K revenue per month companies. So minimum 15K per month. That's if they're going to, for an e-commerce brand. Harley, how much money are they spending on ads to make that work? 15K a month is nothing. Like that's 180 grand a year for an e-commerce site. That's small. I'd be looking for e-commerce sites that would be doing, 2, 3. The guys that spend the most money on AdWords, Harley, for e-commerce, for Google Ads, are the guys that are at the 3 million mark. 3 million or more is where the guys are, the product categories are. And if you want to find people who are doing 3 million or more, the product guys, my question to you is go and join the ClickFunnels community ClickFunnels group. So Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels Facebook group, which is free to join, and just ask the question. If you want a hot tip, guys, if you want to go on a market and find really good companies. So this is for people who are targeting e-commerce guys, right? So if you want to work with really successful money-driven, companies that do really well financially, if I were you, Harley, I'd hop in the ClickFunnels group and just ask this question. Hey, who are the top product sellers? Who are the cool e-com guys or the product sellers that you know? Name the names. Just ask for the names. I guarantee you, I think there's like 120,000 people or so, or 200,000 people in the Facebook group. I'll guarantee you people will name names. And then what you want to do is you want to approach those guys and say, hey, I'd love to run a Google Ads campaign for your product category. That is the easiest way to find the top guys. And the way you access them, Harley, it's really simple, is, hey, you were recommended to me as one of the top product category guys in this area, and that's why I'm reaching out. And we do, our speciality is we run Google Ads for product categories. There you'll find companies that have got money, cash. These guys will spend $20, $30, $100,000 a month or more with you, Harley. They're the guys you want to do Google Ads for, not the guys who've got 15 grand, they've got no cash. You're going to go broke working with the guys at 15 grand a month. You need to work with the guys who's trade Llewellyn. Yeah, absolutely. You need to go and work for the guys who are going to spend 50, 100 grand a month with you. They're the guys you want to work with, Harley. Because if you've got that kind of cash, you can do some really cool marketing. So let me tell you, that's where you find the great people who work with Harley. And let me tell you, I know a lot of these guys, and if they've got somebody who knows what they're talking about, they'll spend that cash. So that's the fastest way to go get clients, Harley. All right, so I'm going to say thank you for being here. This is longer than I thought I was going to be here. We've been here for 2 hours. Can you believe that? Time flies really fast when you're having some fun. Thank you for being here. For those of you interested, go to clientsunleashed.com. The doors are open, so I am helping people. The 3 areas that we're helping people in Clients Unleashed right now is we're getting that offer defined and clear, so it's easy. You're confident to deliver a result. The second piece is we're going to introduce a process and automation in sales where you're going to get 50 opportunities every day. You're going to be communicating between 15 to 20 people who are going to be actively engaging. And then from there, the goal is to get 1 to 3 appointments per day. That is done where we've got a system and a strategy that's going all on automation. You'll love this. If you're going to join us, you're going to see this. I'm going to be unrolling this next week. I know there's some people who are salivating for this one. So predictable sales. And then the third part of that is I'm going to walk you through a sales process and a pitch to make it really easy. So we're going to take out all the grunt work in making that sales process challenging to one where the client actually just wants to buy what you have to offer by taking you through a really simple process. So the idea is to make sales effortless. So that 3, having the right offer, confidence delivery, having the lead generation taken care of, and having the ability to convert those people into sales is a license to print revenue for your business. The goal that I'm setting for people in a 6-week period is 100K worth of annualized revenue. Roughly 3 to 5 clients will get there. 3 to 5 clients is very doable. We have people doing that in Consulting Champions and in Agency Unleashed, and we have people who are in Clients Unleashed at the moment who have done that. That are hitting 4 to 5 sales a month. So if that's your bag and you want to be part of that, then you can go to Clients Unleashed and I'll see you in there. So with that, tomorrow is all about hot buying niches, the intelligence, the strategy to engage, the buying zone, what you need to do to get in front of these people and what help they need. That's what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow on the session. So same time, same channel, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bonnie, Howard, Melanie, Grant, Amy, Mark, Andy, Harley, Chris, Brian, Russell, Rod, Darius, good to see you, my friend. Tice, awesome to have you here. Welcome. And so I look forward to seeing you same time, same channel. Take care, everybody.